As you may know, the further you go from the 0 to the float max, max, or float min, mean, whatever, the less accurate each step will be. So first thing that people want to do is to move from engine that supports only 32-bit coordinates into 64 bits. Basically, this gives you an order of magnitude more precision, which means that you can effectively go much further from your original point. Let's say that this is your origin point, and with 32-bit you can get somewhere here, and with 64-bit you can get somewhere here until you encounter inaccuracies that will basically destroy your logic. But the thing is, you'll still have this limit above which you will not have enough precision to do the simulation. Okay, so probably it has some limited range, for example, for weapons, for communication, for whatever, at least for the interactions that are space based, because communication doesn't have to rely on space, so we don't have this issue for like direct event sending. Let's get back to the assumption. So we safely can have an assumption that the effective range of the laser beam is limited in range. So we won't be able to shoot a laser from here to here. We probably won't be able to do that. And even if we can shoot up to here, then still probably there is a hard limit how far we want to shoot. But to be honest, even if the range is not limited, we still will be able to work around this with clusters. But bear with me. So first of all, we get all clusters that are impossible ranges. And now we treat the origin of this cluster as our new 0.0, like origin of the space. And now we can translate the positions of all of those actors to be relative to this position. So we know the index of a cluster of this ship, and we know position within this cluster of this ship. So we can easily recalculate, like remap this to a position relative to this cluster. And that way, we are still in a range of 32-bit float precision. So if we have origin point and direction, so we know that the first cluster that we need to check will be the cluster of the origin point. So we take this cluster and we basically evaluate our function only for this part. And we basically create a list that contains all of possible targets in the cluster, and we check if any of the targets crosses this line. And then if we have at least one target that crosses this line, we then check which is nearest to the origin point. If there is no such target, then we basically declare that our new origin point is here. We check through each cluster the beam, the laser goes starting from this origin point, from the boundary of a cluster. So now we can easily determine that this is the cluster that we are interested, and we repeat the same function, but for this part of a beam, taking into the account actors that are here. A potentially infinite word for, let's say, RTS game. Bye for now, and cheers.